Bay Buccaneers, folks, have been eliminated from the playoffs. But I will say this. The final score is 31-23 as Baker Mayfield comes off the field. Season over. The Lions move on to the NFC Championship game as Baker Mayfield throws the final interception and the Buccaneers lose. There's a lot to say about this game. I want to dive into it. Let's first start off with the quarterback situation. Baker Mayfield, 26 of 41, 349 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, sacked 4 times today. You know, I thought Baker played a good game overall. He had the 2 interceptions that were bad, but he also, I would say, helped this offense fight incredibly hard throughout the game. Kept them in this game until the very end. Obviously, the interception at the very end was what it was. It lost them the game, and that is what it is. I still think Baker, just to give my thoughts and opinions on this, I still think Baker is back. I still think that he played a good game besides the 2 interceptions, but obviously those 2 interceptions were bad. The second one being the game-losing one. And it is what it is. It was a bad interception, bad throw, just bad play. And the Buccaneers, you know, got the final nail in their coffin for their season because of it. But I do think there was a lot of good to Baker Mayfield's game today. I do think that he still will be back. Rachaad White had a great day running the football, 9 carries, 55 yards. The Buccaneers could not run as much as they probably wanted to throughout the game because they were playing from behind a lot of the game, and that was a difficult thing. But I thought Rachaad White ran the ball well. We'll talk about him moving forward, obviously next season and whatnot, but I think Rachaad White still had a good game in limited capacity. Mike Evans, 147 yards today on 12 targets, touchdown, fantastic game. Fantastic game. I still think Mike Evans is going to be back, but if this was his last game as a Buck, what a way to go out. I still think he's going to be back. I want to say that. So a great game from Mike Evans. 65 yards and a touchdown from Cade Otton. 40 yards from Chris Godwin. 8 targets. 36 yards and a touchdown from Rachaad White. There was a lot of positives to the passing game today, I thought. From the offense as a whole, I thought there was a lot of positives. I mean, you take a look. You had 408 yards of total offense today. It's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. 391 yards from the Lions. We'll talk about the defense in a second here. But I thought that overall the offense had a lot of good moments today and was able to really fight back and still stay in this game. Defensively, the first half was good. They were so gassed by the second half, man. KJ Britt, Levante David led the way with 25 combined tackles between the two, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a quarterback hit. For Levante David, a great game. Again, if this is Levante David's last game, because he might retire, or he might, you know, go off in free agency, what a way to go out. I still think Levante David's going to be back if he does decide to play. Jamel Dean had 3 passes defended. Kalijah Kancey had a sack, a tackle for loss, quarterback hit, and a pass deflection. A couple of quarterback hits from Vita Vea and Antoine Winfield Jr., one from Shaq Barrett. One of the two of the biggest stories of this game was KJ Britt getting picked on good bit in the second half. And it's unfortunate to say because I really do think the guy had a good year. As soon as Jamel Dean left the game, they targeted Zion McCollum, and it worked for the Lions. It did. And in terms of offensive turnovers, again, I can't say it enough. The 2 interceptions were bad. The Lions scored 3 points off of the turnovers. 3 points. So the Bucs still would have lost the game. The defense gave up 28 points. Now, I do also want to say the Lions offense did a really good job today. A lot of this came into the second half where the Lions made some adjustments. The Bucs just seemed like they were gassed in the second half. Um, 287 yards from Goff, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 114 rushing yards to finish out the day. Again, the defense gave up 391 total yards of offense. Your offense had 408 total yards. I mean, I don't know, man. You guys can make your own conclusions. The Lions were 6 of 14 on third down. Yes, the Bucs did have trouble getting off the field on third down, but it was comparable. It was comparable. 6 of 14, 4 of 12. That's pretty much the same in my opinion. A big thing was the defensive, falling apart in the second half. The final interception by Baker in the second half to end the game. The missed 2-point conversion was kind of tough too. Was pretty tough too. Some people are going to knock the missed field goal from McLaughlin. I don't really knock it too much, just because if we're going to play so many hypotheticals, then if you take a look, okay, if the missed field goal happens, then actually I don't know why we're seeing a missed field goal here. Okay, he hit the missed field goal. They're not showing. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. Yeah. The missed field goal. The Lions punted. Bucs scored a touchdown. Does that happen if he does make the field goal? I don't know. But one thing to notice here is that in the first half, the Lions punted 1, 2, 3 times. In the second half, they punted twice. And they scored 3 straight touchdowns. Obviously, the interception was what it was. The defense got a stop when you needed them to get a stop, and then the interception happened. That's obviously not good, but also the defense gave up 21 points in that second half. That affected them as well. So I don't think it's one specific play. I don't think it's one specific unit. It's just the Bucs couldn't take advantage of, just couldn't get it done at the end of the day. Now, I will say, they fought their butts off and still made this ball game still stayed competitive. And that certainly mattered, man. It does. It certainly matters. But season's over, folks. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have lost. They're eliminated from the playoffs in a 1-score loss to the Detroit Lions. Heck of a season. We're going to have a lot to talk about, obviously, in the offseason and whatnot, but this team fought and fought and fought. I'm proud of them for that. So good stuff there from the Bucs.